The injury bug bites the Nittany Lions in Iowa City. 5-1 at the midway point, the bye week comes at a perfect time. We look for a Penn State connection everywhere we go, and we find it during the flyover of Kinnick Stadium. Why the lead pilot is representing the blue and white.
I was getting these handwritten letters from Tom Bradley about becoming a Penn State Nittany Lion. My dream was going to come true.
He's been waiting to find out why he didn't end up in Happy Valley. A former NFL punter and now a powerful presence in the modern sports media world, Pittsburgh native Pat McAfee explains why punting is winning in the Impact interview. It's time for Nittany Game Week. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski alongside Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley. Thanks for joining us. No game, no problem. Still have plenty to share with you this week, including some thoughts on the Iowa setback, juiced up crowd, injury to the starting quarterback, and other key personnel. Look, you guys understand all too well, it doesn't always go the way you hope.
No, and when you do, it comes down to adjustments that we're going to talk about. Iowa made some, Penn State not so much.
Yeah, it really gets to be an interesting chess match as you go back and forth. Penn State had every opportunity, still up 20-10 to win that game.
Yeah, the defense was out there. They did a great job, but down the stretch, they were outscored. We meet the loss to the Hawkeyes head on and offer some big picture perspective in our opening drive. So let's take a look at the first half against the Hawkeyes. Penn State's defense in control of Spencer Petras and company. Jay? Iowa makes the adjustment in the second half.
No question, and they made some adjustments as to how they went after them. They got away from the four-man pressures, got to the five-man pressures, and that's how Clifford ultimately got hurt, was on a five-man pressure, and they got to him.
And they saved this play until they got a no-blitz look, and at the right time. And, Tom, they got the no-blitz look, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, they sure did, and it's one of the things that they waited to the precise time. They held it. Sometimes that's hard to do as a coach. You're holding and waiting for the right time. It never comes, but in this case it did.
Absolutely. Sophomore linebacker Curtis Jacobs was asked about the go-ahead touchdown from Iowa.
Yeah, they made a great play. That's a great team. Shout out to them. I wish them nothing but luck as they go on, but they made a great play, and after the play, I'm just thinking next play we got to figure out how we're going to win this.
So what all of this means is really just that Iowa scored more points than Penn State in this game. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a better team. Hawkeyes have an easier path to the Big Ten championship, and it would be nice to see a rematch in Indianapolis.
Obviously, a lot of things have to happen, but the next thing to discuss, Tom, is the running game. It's already a tough situation with the injury to Clifford, a hostile crowd, an effective rushing attack. They would have taken a lot of pressure off the backup.
Well, that's one of the things when you're going with a backup quarterback. If you can get a good run game going and get those pass plays, shorter, don't put them in that long yardage situation, it can make a huge difference. And if you're going to not have Clifford, you better get that run game going either the way you've been doing it, or you better get into some different Wildcats type stuff to get that going.
All right, so now let's pull back at the halfway point, right, for some big picture perspective. 5-1 record, in contention for the Big Ten East berth, for the Big Ten East title, a berth in the Big Ten championship possible, and if they are able to run the table with this schedule, even college football playoff. A bye week also comes at a perfect time.
Hey, we're grateful. Opportunity for guys to get healthy, relax, for us to, get back and watch more film and just prepare for our next opponent.
With the bye week, we figured we'd squeeze in a pair of viewer questions, Jay.
Okay, can you talk about preparing a backup quarterback to play? Since Penn State's backup came and was not quite ready to play, so who's that fall? I think really what you got to look at is when you get in that situation, you got to have a little different package for a guy who hasn't played as much. When they had the problem with the fumble and then the offside, the false starts, the Iowa crowd got into it. So you got to lean on your running game. Your defense has to do some things, but you got to get that guy ready.
Yeah, the false start's problematic. No matter what situation, you got to be able to handle crowd noise. You got to be able to get that cadence going.
Yeah, that's one of the important things about being the backup. But one of the important points here, like Jay said, you got to condense that package. What is he comfortable with right now in his progression where he is at Penn State?
All right, second question from Paul in California. The pass rush seems to have fallen off this year. Should we be concerned about that? What can be done about it?
Tom, you're the defensive
guy.
You take this one.
I'll take this one.
Hot potato. We're tossing it to
it's an
you.
interesting thing because you like to get through with 4, and I always say if you can do it with 3 even, that's heaven, you know. But in this case, they're not. The pass rush hasn't been there. Their stats are way down. They've got to figure a way to get there. And if not going to get there with 4, they got to start coming up with some fire zone blitzes to get those 5 guys. And that is important for the second half of this season with who they're going to be playing. They better get a pass rush.
Yeah, they're going to put some time into that after the break. Let's get to the scrap metal. All right, so Tom, we like JAQUAN BRISKER in this one. You go with the senior in the secondary.
Yeah, it's great. You know, he had a heck of a good game. He had 7 tackles, tackle for loss, interception, and got to know a little bit about him. He's a Pittsburgh guy from Gateway High School, so I've kind of followed him in high school too. So congratulations to you on winning the award. Not, you know what though, it never feels good when you lose to get an award.
No, well,
no.
He's partial to those Pittsburgh guys, that's for sure.
That's the first one I picked this year. Come on.
Well, in true scrap metal fashion, BRISKER will be there to help lead the team into the second half.
You know, we're just going to get better. You know, the bad week's coming up. You know, everybody's going to get well rested and things like that. And we're going to move forward after this. You know, we're not going to, you know, after this day, we're going to move forward and we're going to be a better Penn State team.
Just what you want to hear from a senior leader. No panic, lots of focus. Tough second half coming up for the 7th-ranked Nittany Lions. As for our scouting report, we call it our coming attractions. It's movie-themed as we touch on some of the plot lines for the 6 games still left to play. Nittany Game Week returns after this.
Tom Bradley Scrap Metal is sponsored by Team DUI, creating a safer and healthier environment for everyone in the Commonwealth.